My biggest fear has obviously been the rise of 27 weeks of unemployment. But if we soft land here, then that will just prove to be wrong. It'll have proven to be too conservative. And it would have made more sense to be more aggressive going into, well, frankly, the continuation of the Nike swoosh recovery, especially since we're not even at euphoric levels of the Nike swoosh yet, which is crazy to think that there could be a whole nother stage to this. Wild. Yes. So.
Okay, we are not at euphoric levels, even if we soft land. Okay. First of all, I am not a Kevin hater. If anything, I actually watch most of his videos. And as a matter of fact, I actually did invest $10K into a startup. So yeah, not a hater here. But for you to say that we're not at euphoric levels, if we soft land and the labor market doesn't, crack and the economy just keeps chugging along, that's a little insane, bro. No disrespect. I really do admire your hard, crazy, work ethic. But that's insane to me. And here's why. And the main culprit here, and what makes me very concerned, is Bitcoin. Here's what I mean. What is concerning to me right now is not only is SPY testing this channel, which if anybody who follows him already knows about this channel, Soloway actually put this, and I actually do happen to agree. For me to be bullish on this market right now, first of all, SPY would have to break out of this channel, which I think will be pretty big resistance to begin with. But the thing that's really concerning right now is the relation and the near similarity of price action between Bitcoin and SPY that happened in 2021 seems to be happening right now. Here's what I mean. Bitcoin put in a weekly topping tail back in August 11th, right? And so far it hasn't negated it. And not only that, it actually did put in a monthly topping tail. And to top it off, if we close near the lows of where we're at right now by the end of next week, we're going to put in another monthly topping tail. That's not bullish price action, bro. And the thing that's really concerning right now, oh wow, I should not put that in there. Okay. And the thing that's really concerning to me right now is if you look, here's the thing. Back in 2021, during its second run, Bitcoin also did put in a weekly topping tail and it never negated it. And by the way, if you want to negate a weekly topping tail, you need to have a weekly close above the weekly topping tail, which is right here. Back in 2021, it never closed above. And following afterwards, it just had a huge dump out, right? Look what the SPY did during the time. When they put in a weekly topping tail, the SPY still kept going higher and just kept, chugging along, but not much. But eventually it still had a massive move down. So to me, Bitcoin to a certain extent is a leading indicator of what might happen, not will, might happen to the overall market based on how it's moving against the SPY. Because usually if the SPYs and Qs are up, Bitcoin goes up usually higher. But for some reason, we're not seeing that right now, which is very concerning. And not only that, you did put in a monthly topping tail in November, which we also put in a monthly topping tail right here back in August. And it looks like we're going to put in another one in October. So I guess what I'm asking is what do you mean by we're not at euphoric highs right now? Like, that's the part I don't really understand from me, Kevin. Dude, if this isn't euphoria, I don't know what is. The fact that retail participation in stocks is at all-time highs, margin debt is at over $1 trillion for the first time ever. Trillion with a T, not a billion, trillion, bro. That's insane. And usually when retail gets into the market, that's pretty much the top, dude. Like, historically, yes. So the fact that retail involvement in stocks is at all-time highs, margin debt is at all-time highs, and the fact that Bitcoin is putting in a weekly and a monthly topping tail is not negating it, and the fact that we're seeing similar price action between Bitcoin and SPY like we did back in 2021, bro, there's no way I could be bullish at this market right now. This is insane. My gut feeling right now, honestly, is telling me we're basically in somewhat of a alt season, but for stocks. For some reason, retail participation in crypto is just not there right now. If you look at Ben Cohen's social risk metric, yeah, retail hasn't come back to crypto, dude. It really hasn't. Bitcoin's price action for the past few days, it is not bullish. If anything, this huge down move and this bearish consolidation, it looks like a big ass bull flag. And not only that, if this sort of, not the best looking head and shoulders, but if this actually plays out, Bitcoin can actually break down to about 94,000. The problem with that also is if it actually fulfills that, the freaking 50 weekly moving average is at 102. If we have weekly closes below the 50 weekly moving average, just like Ben Cohen says, it actually might be the end of the cycle. If Bitcoin goes down, I really have a hard time seeing traditional markets going higher, especially at these ridiculous valuations, dude. And not only that, the fact that even companies like fucking Oklo, this ridiculous company which by the way, doesn't even have any revenue. Literally no revenue, bro. Look at this. Zero revenue, zero revenue, zero revenue. They're just burning cash. And the fact that this ridiculous stock went up from its liberation lows of April, made a high of 900% gain, dude. The fact that there are stocks that are making these ridiculous moves, dude, it honestly feels like all season. But in stock for some reason this time, not in crypto, which is very odd. Well, actually, no, I guess it's not that odd, mainly because, especially after the FTX crash and all that stuff, I'm pretty sure retail just really doesn't trust crypto right now, which is probably the reason why they're not in it and they're just getting into stocks right now. But these ridiculous valuations, and the fact that even SNDK, dude, is making this ridiculous run after its initial second offering of his IPO back in June of 2025. Their second offering was at 38.50, bro. And from their second offering, the fact that it went up, where is it? June. Let's just save it from here. The fact that it went up 300, like, if these aren't altcoin-like moves, I don't know what is. The fact that this company, even if you had the spinoff, went up over 360% after its June offering of 38.50. What the hell did this company do for the past 2 months that can justify a 360% move up? That is insane. This feels like freaking altcoins, dude. So the reason why I'm making this video is because I made a huge mistake back in 2021, and I had to hold on to all these fucking positions for basically 3 years just to break even and make a little bit of money. So the reason why I'm making this video is to at least have some people who watch this video not make the same fucking mistakes that I made. Do not ignore these kind of price action, bro. I'm telling you, dude, like, this euphoria that we're seeing in the stock market right now is insane. And for me, Kevin, to say we're not at euphoric levels, even if we have soft landing, it's just insane to me, bro. How are you going to say that to your 2 million subscribers? Saying that this isn't euphoria, even if we soft land, dude, it's just insane. Maybe it's because I'm just more of a technical guy and I just look at the charts mainly. But even valuation-wise on some of these companies are freaking ridiculous. And for you to go long here? Nah. No way. I don't know what's coming. No one knows. And honestly, I'm not sure if we're even going to enter a recession. And anybody who says that they know that we're going to go to a recession is full of shit. But yeah, right now, if this isn't euphoria, I really don't know what is. And based off of what I've seen so far in the markets right now, dude, bro, yeah, I think Einstein was right, man. Human stupidity really might be infinite. The fact that we're seeing these kind of ridiculous run on some of these stocks, I mean, dude, that's insane. And so many of these charts right now are showing bearish price actions. And yeah, I really can't be bullish right here, dude. Even if we somehow soft land, I really doubt we have much upside from this point on. I really don't. So, in conclusion, for me to be bullish on this market, I really need to see some sort of divergence from the price action that we saw in 2021 between Bitcoin and SPY. And SPY really needs to break out of this parallel channel right here. Otherwise, it's just, it ain't good, bruh. It doesn't look good. It looks exactly like in 2021, dude. So, that's my take. And this is coming from a guy who actually watched me, Kevin's video on a, fairly daily basis. and even invested 10K into his house hack, which, by the way, I don't care what happens to that 10K. I'm basically treating it as a meme stock. And I'm not calling me Kevin a meme. I really, like I said, I really do admire his work ethic. It's insane. But for you to say we're not at euphoric levels, bruh, come on, man. You got to do better for your subscribers, man. Like this is, even if we soft land, dude, on a technical basis, I don't see much upside, dude. And if we do, I'll just bow out to the market and just get out of all my shorts and just, call it a day. This is insane. Do not make the same mistake I made back in 2021. Good luck out there, and I'll see you guys in the next one.